This is the worst.
Welcome in, everyone, to Barely Educated, the Bears pod, by Bears fans, for Bears fans. And sometimes it really shows that we're Bears fans, such as the last episode. I'm Mark, joined as always by Chris. We're here to break down the beatdown that was the Thursday night game last night, the week that was for the Bears, and a little bit of a post-game, the post game. What do I used to call that? Whatever we would like fix what we said.
After further review or on further
After
review.
further review.
Yeah.
See, that's why we keep you around. Doesn't know who the Raiders quarterback is, but he remembers the bits.
and I can.
We got to go back to that a little bit, and then preview the Lions and any other game we're interested in this week. It's Friday. That'll be a routine. I think we will usually manage to make a Friday episode happen, barring travel. Post games are going to be tricky, but we'll try our best. But we'll definitely try to have a weekly Friday one for you. Chris, I know you're on the road in enemy territory,
Yes.
but still, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay, I guess, as long as it's not football related. Like you said last night, it was. Yeah, I didn't get to watch most of the game because I'm on the road. I am on my way to my 30th high school reunion back home in the burbs. And as you
Nice.
said, I'm in enemy territory, staying at my parents' house tonight, who live on the Illinois side of St. Louis. So we crossed the river, we crossed the Rubicon about midnight last night, and here we are.
Did you have an army ready to take over the Republic?
No, we did not, sadly, yes. I think other people are taking care of that right now. But anyway.
Yeah, that might be happening elsewhere. Yeah, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
I have not been to any of my high school reunions.
No?
Shame. But now that I have loyal listeners from the high school class, I'll have
Right.
to try to make it to the third.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah. This is all your fault, high school friend Jamie.
High school friend Jamie.
Oh, man, back-to-back episodes. All right, so I sent you what I think is the agenda for the episode, and I put in two emojis, a whale and a poop emoji. Because I was watching that Packers game, and I was like, whale crap. They're pretty stinking good. Through 2 weeks, the defense looks amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? The defense seems amazing even when Parsons isn't out there. Like,
Yeah, and he's
What
only going
happened?
to get more snaps.
yeah.
Well, the front's great. I've said before the season, I thought their corners were one of the weakest in the league and the weakest out of the positions that have great value in the division. And it doesn't matter because
Doesn't matter.
with the front sevens healthy, they're just going to make it irrelevant that their corners are mediocre or unproven is maybe more fair. But that was the weak link, and it just doesn't matter because Micah Parsons is shot out of a cannon every play.
Yep.
But I have a confession: I love watching him play football,
I know.
and it's
I
very
get it.
disturbing because I don't want the Packers to be this good, but that defense is going to carry them this year, and we'll see if Jordan Love can. Defense will get you pretty far into the playoffs, and then the quarterback has to do his thing, and we'll see if he can do it. He was great last night, and they're so well coached.
That's the thing is, yeah, LaFleur, he can scheme guys open maybe better than anyone else in the NFL right now, it seems like.
And
There's
it seemed to me like watching that game, it was the same 3 or 4 throws that he'd ask him to make.
Mm,
And when he's on, he's on. He's just extraordinarily streaky as a quarterback.
yep.
But this looks like a legitimate, not just playoff contender. They were that already, but that defense is good enough that I'll say it. Plug your nose, plug your ears. I'll say it. Bad taste in my mouth. They're a Super Bowl contender with that defense. That defense just played 2 teams that scored 30 points a game last year, and they combined for 31. I mean, I know there's issues on the O
No.
line for the Lions, and Ben Johnson's the Bears coach, hooray! But this is still a great start, and I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. They look terrific on that side of the ball, and the offense seems to be doing its part. They don't have to do all that much, and they're a real problem.
Ugh.
And you've got some fun players. Like I try to consume the sport as a whole too, and not just one thing as a Bears fan, which is like probably important as a coping mechanism since the Bears are usually so irritating.
Well,
But
that's
I like watching Parsons and I like watching Tucker Kraft.
oh gosh, what did he
Tucker
have?
Kraft is hilarious, just throwing dudes. I mean, this guy is crazy.
Just nuts.
Nate
Yeah,
Tice,
that's
I
what I
think
meant.
it was
Yeah.
Nate Tice. I love Nate Tice. You don't follow his stuff, you should. Nate Tice calls him the Warlord. That's his nickname for him. And like a week ago, he like retweeted this random fan who started the bit, and Tice ran with it. And this is the tweet. I'm so happy Tucker Kraft plays football for my team and isn't a local warlord that he was going to be otherwise.
Oh
I don't
gosh.
know why that just kills me. The idea that he'd be a warlord is so random. But he's a bowling ball out there. Like I just got dudes, man. The Packers drive you crazy with this stuff, but they're not boring. I'll give them that. But they got
Yeah.
some athletes, and I hate them, but I have a grudging respect for them. I wish the Bears could put together a roster this good. Or how about the catch by Heath?
I
It's
just
like this amazing sideline catch, a guy nobody's ever heard of that the Packers drafted 52 years ago and stashed on the practice squad until they needed him.
they just
It's
find
crazy.
guys. They always just find guys. It's nuts.
It's organizationally they continue to do circles around the Bears, and it's like
Oh yeah.
I'm just desperate for them to be this. They're an
Yeah.
offensive line factory up there. Everybody fixates on the QBs, but the line of scrimmage, they're always good on both sides of the ball, it seems like. And then there are years where they're great. And yeah, the QBs, they do that pretty well too. I mean, Rodgers is like so good, it's probably an anomaly, but still, Favre and Love would be the best two QBs the Bears have had in my lifetime so far. I mean, Love's erratic, and hopefully Caleb is better. But I'm just saying, like, we can't sit there and scoff at it. And
No.
they're pretty much always well coached. They have one bad year, which was the Bears' one good year, and then they're right back to a 10-game winning streak against the Bears until we finally beat them last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think that's the math.
Yep,
It's
that's
like
right.
learn from them. Here's a thought: stop trash talking the rival that kicks your teeth in every time you play, just about, and learn from them. They draft well, and then when they need to go out and get a guy, it's always a good signing or trade. They had a problem with the run game because their backs weren't very good. They get Josh Jacobs, plug him in behind their line in Matt LaFleur's scheme, and he has the best year of his career.
Of course.
Their defense is missing one piece. The Dallas Cowboys are ran by a senile, crusty old bastard, and so they trade for Micah Parsons. I can't believe anybody's willing to get rid of Micah Parsons either. Like, how dumb do you have to be to let that guy out of your building?
Well, that's an ego thing, right? I mean, you just
Yeah. Well, that's dumb.
yeah, it is dumb. Oh, it's absolutely dumb, but it's Jerry. Yeah, he
It's
wants to
Jerry being
be.
Jerry.
Yeah, he wants to be the guy.
Yeah.
And
So I mean, but it's just like, of course, the Packers are in a position to pounce because they just have great process, and it makes me sick. And I'm over here as a Bears fan going, can we finish the rebuild that we started 4 years ago ever? And the Packers play somebody, they move them around, and they're great. The Bears do it, and they're terrible, right? Jonah Jackson is a career left guard. Bears moved him to the right side. He probably was the worst player on the offense Monday. And
why is
that could come with time. I get it. But like, we get cute, it never works. They do, it always works. Draft and develop better.
yeah, it's amazing that for both franchises, it's across regimes too. Like seems like the Bears
Yeah.
regimes keep making the same mistakes, and the Packers regimes keep having the same successes. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter who it is. Just plug them into the respective office, and history repeats itself. It's been that way for 30 years now. It's nuts. It's just crazy.
It's nuts. And I don't want to be Mark Paddish. He's a Potsy's a fatalist about it. Oh, they come into House Hall and they're bad at everything. They put on the Bears jersey and they're terrible. But sometimes it's hard to avoid that. And we're not going there one week into Ben Johnson. But just it's hard to watch a Packers game in both weeks, really, where they look that impressive and not come away with some begrudging respect and some envy. I'll say it. I,
Sure.
I wish the Bears were two-thirds as competent as Green Bay would make the Bears a lot better.
Yeah.
So
And you
got
know,
to tip your cap to how good that defense looks, though, for real. That defense is going to be tough unless people get hurt.
and it's so much more like mentally freeing too to just admit it, instead of trying to come up
Get
with,
over it.
well, maybe blah blah. No, no, just admit it, and it'll be, it's like, the guy who admits he has an addiction. That's the first step to healing. You know,
My toxic relationship with the Bears and Packers is no longer working out.
Hi, my name's Chris,
Bears
and
therapy.
I'm a
We're not
Bears
ready for
fan.
therapy yet.
Ugh,
We'll get to therapy in a couple weeks, probably.
yeah, yeah,
Also, can I just say real quick? I hate their color scheme. Too much green, too much yellow.
yeah.
Where I like they're all whites. That is a way better look.
I do too,
It's
and
clean.
I
They
asked
look cool. It just
I asked one of my Packer fan friends last night what he thought of the white, and he said of all the clown suits, the white is his favorite. There's an answer. But yeah, I agree. I thought the white helmet looked nice, looked fine, and all white. Yeah.
to live in a world where the biggest complaint we have about our football team is the uniform. I mean,
Someday, maybe,
Bears
probably
default
not.
uniforms are great. We're the opposite.
Yeah.
The rest of it that sucks.
Another thing my friend said was, in terms of like the goofy uniforms that the league has on Thursday nights or whenever they do it, is let the Jaguars and the Panthers do that and leave the Packers, Bears, and Steelers alone. I thought I appreciate that. He said the Bears deserve some dignity. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Alternate jerseys are just to sell to crap. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty easy with this. Some are hits, some are total duds, whatever. Other takeaways from that game. This is what happens when good young QBs play really good defenses. Jaden Daniels' stats don't look that bad because he got the two TDs, with one of them being really obviously
Garbage
garbage
time.
time. Had no turnovers, but took a bunch of. He got hit 12 times, 4 sacks, wasn't effective running the ball. I thought it was really interesting how the Packers approached him, which I was wondering why no one did all of last year once he established himself. So, like, maybe after the Bears game. But that's right. Like, that's his default. There were multiple plays with prime vision where you could see the Packers loaded up to that side. Like, not you're not running this way. You better cut back. And then he'd cut back. And eventually they'd catch him after like 2 yards. But he couldn't do the run right and throw very often because they were deliberately taking that away. And he's a good young player. I'm curious how the rest of the league adjusts. I feel like he's
Yep.
at least a decent candidate for the CJ Stroud second year type of season where you're like, yeah, he's still your franchise QB, but he's not going to look quite as good as he did as a rookie
Yeah.
if the
Agreed.
rest of the league takes note of that. Because there are things to do defensively that I was shocked no one tried previously, but we know this can happen where the book's out. And it's something for Caleb to think about too, because they're going to do the same thing where they're like, he wants to do
Yes.
this, we're not going to let him.
Hmm.
Okay, so now to the week that was for the Chicago Bears.
If we must.
First, an injury update, and then we'll do after further review. Jalen Johnson says he's playing.
Okay.
It sounds like TJ Edwards is playing. They both are full participants in practice. Tyler Gordon is limited for DNP. I'll check. And then Grady Jarrett popped up on the injury report with a knee, which you don't love because that was the whole reason he was available.
Mm, lovely.
So it's like, wait, what? So I don't know quite what to think of the injury update on the whole. Jalen coming back is, of course, huge. But if
Yes.
if it's like Jalen and TJ Edwards, that's obviously better than we were dealing with against the Vikings, like clearly. But Jordan and Jarrett are both, as of yesterday, did not practice this week. Again, we're recording Friday morning before the Bears do their injury report. Edwards was limited, but they're saying he should be playing. And DJ, who had the big hit he took, and Jalen were both full both days. So we'll see if TJ plays. They're saying they're trending right direction. It sounds like Gordon and Grady Jarrett won't. So Connor Gordon's hamstring gets touchy every year. This is the
Yes.
thing that I mean, we love him as a player, but man, it seems like this happens every year. So that's your injury update, and we'll keep that in mind when we get to the Lions game. So after further review, I am still standing by my Caleb Williams thoughts for the most part. I recognize that in the post game, you're maybe too hard. I'm maybe too hard on him to some degree. I still don't think he played well. I still think he left too many yards on the field and a couple points. And the fourth down miss to DJ was really bad. I still think he gets too amped. Every miss is an overthrow or thrown too hard. I think that has got to be corrected somehow. But I also think some of the plays he did make, I didn't maybe give him enough credit for. And the most interesting thing about the week to me was all the former QBs and coaches who came out and were like, he was pretty good. What are you talking about? He wasn't terrible. I'm like, what? And I'm trying to be humble, just barely humble enough to do this.
That's
Say,
the new
okay, if
name of the
Kurt
show.
Warner says just humble enough,
Barely
barely
humble. Sorry, go ahead.
fair. But Kurt Warner is like, that's not a turn down. That's his read. Okay, he knows a lot more about this than I do. And if Bruce Arians is like, well, this happens to everybody. They got to get on the same page with the receivers. You shouldn't put all that on the QB. Okay, Bruce Arians knows a whole lot more about this than I do. And then the Bears coaches were like, yeah, DJ changed the route, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick's like, there's like two people who can make this throw ad lib route change. It's really hard to just reset in time. And I'm like, okay, that like there's a bunch of them where like what we thought was a terrible miss is actually kind of like halfway on the receiver. So I say all that to say maybe that gives us a little more hope for Caleb week 2. He did make obviously plenty of plays. His pressure to sack rate was great. He got out of trouble a ton. That was really encouraging. 2 sacks, one of them the whole barely stepped out of bounds thing. So kind of like one jailbreak, he didn't have a chance, and one where you're like, throw it before you get over there. Throw it
Barely
away.
stepped out of
You can
bounds.
almost say only one that was on him. You know, he's still trying to make a play, and the jailbreak wasn't his fault. So that was encouraging. But I needed him to hit the shots downfield more because of how bad his accuracy was last year, too. Like, that's not new to this week. But I think the main takeaway to me came into full focus watching the Packers shut down the Commanders while the game still mattered. Like, yeah, this is what happens when you play good defenses early in the year. And that's a QB who is in the same system he was in. I think that we maybe didn't give Minnesota enough credit for that. And they absolutely killed the Bears' run game. And it's pretty hard to play effectively against a real defense as a young QB if you've got no run.
Yeah, and when Ben Johnson was with the Lions, the run game was so important to set up their passing game. I mean, they had 2 really good running backs in Montgomery and Gibbs, and then the passing game on top of that. So, yeah, so
And they complement each other well.
right, and for me, that points back to Ryan Poles again. Like, why did we say DeAndre Swift is enough to have an effective running game after what we saw last year? I got a problem with
And
that.
that gets me back to my Packers thing. Use players correctly.
Yeah.
Right? DeAndre Swift is lethal in open space.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good third down back. He might be the best in the league if you use him that. Like the skill set in the passing game is really, really good. And he's pretty stinking bad as your every down back.
Yes.
What he does that drives me nuts, I know you mentioned last year him running into just running into everybody or going the wrong way. That's annoying too. But sometimes they just didn't have anywhere to go. I get that. What really gets me is when he'll do this weird double cut and then the hole that was there closes because he's just sitting there dancing around. I'm like, just follow him.
Yeah.
There was a play with Rome and there was a play with Loveland where they were both lead blockers on different plays, and the hole was huge. And he did his double cut and then it shrank. It's like, just hit the hole. One cut is fine. That's pretty normal in the NFL, but he's doing like this weird multiple cut thing. Like he doesn't see it and everybody else sees it. Where it's like, dude, you got it. That's got to be 8 yards, not 2. And I'm not expecting him to break off all these amazing runs and run people over constantly, but he's not even doing the offense half the time. Like he's not
Yeah,
actually doesn't look like he consistently runs the play.
yeah.
But that's pretty maddening. And I'm curious. Ben talked about getting Monungai more touches this week, so I'm curious about
Mm,
if we'll actually see anything there, and is he really ready? But I do think if they had a guy who just hit the hole that was called hard, and it's 5 yards instead of two, how different does that look? Another nugget on the Bears Packers thing. The Bears average to go on third down was almost 9 yards.
oh,
Hey, false starts. How are you guys today? There's another one reason for that, right? The Packers in week one, I don't know what it was last night, but in week one it was like 3 yards. Well, that's why they look so good on third down is he can
yeah,
call anything he wants
yeah,
over and over again. And the
yeah.
Bears are like playing this high degree of difficulty quarterback because it's third and 13 and third and 8 and third and 11 and third and 11 again. And you're like, well, man, there's only so many options here.
Right.
So the sloppy line play was another huge factor. Darnell Wright, shout out to him, zero pressures.
Yes, kudos.
Pancaked the guy, got called for a hold. That was stupid
Oh,
on the
that was
refs,
yeah.
but he had a great game in pass pro. I don't think anybody had a great game in run blocking. Maybe Tooney. Tooney
And
was
there's
good, and everybody else I thought was pretty so-so. Braxton was okay in pass pro, and Dahlman was a bit disappointing, maybe okay-ish. Needed to be better as the big
yeah,
signing, and Jonah Jackson had a terrible game.
and might
So
be
that's
hurt.
also part of the context. It
Yeah.
might be hurt. So that's why I like this Friday episode and why I want to do this weekly because you get
Okay.
a chance to watch the all 22. You get a chance to see what the ball knowers say and consume it with a little bit more intelligence and then kind of come back to the game. And it's fine to have a fun post game visceral reaction. But I do think one of the takeaways here is there was a total systems failure on offense, and Caleb's mistakes were larger because of the moments they were in, which is why I wanted to learn to calm down. But what if they run the ball? You know, they had that team beat. And the last thing I want to say about the Vikings game is I'm not letting the run D off the hook. The
Yeah.
D was great for 3 quarters. I know.
Mm-hmm.
And the run D stunk. And that's what opened up JJ McCarthy's 3 TDs in the fourth quarter that everybody thinks is so amazing. It's like, yeah, because you're gouging the Bears for 8 on the ground every carry.
Yeah.
Congrats for winning your first game and all, but like that was Kevin O'Connell kicking butt again.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great coach too.
Yeah, he is.
Can
And
we petition the league to realign the divisions? Can we get out of this division? I would like to make a new division with the we could go Chicago over to Indy, down to Malario, Nashville, and then over to Carolina. That should be the new division.
we could try that, to get a letter
The
writing campaign.
NFC, midway belt thing. I don't know. This division's murder because the coaches are great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that'll be good too. I think he's going to be great as well. But like, I don't know that was like a whole team collapse, not just the quarterback.
Yeah. In regards to Ben Johnson, I was a little troubled by the assumptions that he's already a bad coach that I heard in some local media outlets.
Yeah, no,
I
I
won't say
think he made a
who.
couple mistakes to
Yeah,
learn from,
sure.
but I think
And,
calling him bad already is pretty crazy.
and the assumption that he won't learn from his mistakes in his first game as a head coach. Like, what are we doing? Like, we just
Yeah, obviously
assume
very premature.
expect him to just walk in and win a Super Bowl week one? I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Agreed. Okay, so Bears got a tough one this week at Detroit. Ben Johnson homecoming. You know the Lions are going to be fired up for that. They're going to be fired up because they lost. They're going to be fired up because it's their first home game and the Bears' first road game. All the procedure issues and false starts. That sounds like a tough
Yeah.
task
If
to me. But let's break down the numbers. No, go ahead. I'll do the numbers after that. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say if you're having false start penalties at home, and kudos to the Bears fans at Soldier Field, they were quiet when the Bears were on offense. It's taken,
They
you know,
tried their everyone best, didn't they?
yeah. So I mean, yeah, if it's a problem when every outside factor is enabling you to not have pre-snap penalties. Good luck when you're going into a very, very hostile environment. And it's going to be very hostile because Detroit hates Ben Johnson now. So they're going to make that
Yep.
known.
Well said. When it's all stacked for you not to have the issue and you have the issue, it's pretty hard to take seriously that you'll suddenly fix it
Right.
on the road. And Ben Johnson even joked maybe the silent count will help. He's
Uh,
fed up with this stuff, which I kind of love that about him. He
yeah.
doesn't mince words. All right, so the numbers after one game, they're not very telling. So grain of salt there, but here we are. When the Bears have the ball, it is the 15th offense by yards. We're doing it by yards. Versus the 10th best defense. Green Bay got up and didn't really have to do a whole lot in that game. I feel like it sure didn't seem like the Lions played a top 10 level of defense that game. So I'm kind of surprised by that stat.
Yeah.
And the Bears actually were the 10th best running game against the 10th best running defense in Detroit. But that's because of Caleb scrambling.
Yeah. Okay. True. Okay.
And there's a conversation to be had there. Like, we want him to keep doing this that much?
Nope.
Not really.
No.
I want him to do it when he needs to do it and when it's there. But I think you don't really want him running that much in general. So that pumps up the Bears number a good bit. So I do think that's a fairly even matchup because Hutchinson's great. Brian Branch is great. And the rest of that Detroit defense didn't play all that well. They looked like they really missed tackles that are hurt, and everybody kind of ran right at them. The only thing that stinks about that point is, are the Bears the team to take advantage? So far, we haven't seen it, but hopefully they give us a new wrinkle and they can do that. Because I think the way you win this game is you run right at them to set up play action, just like Ben Johnson was. But if you're letting Hutchinson tee off on 3rd and long all game, you're not going to win this game. Okay, when the Lions have the ball, they are the 27th offense by yards after. Eesh. That didn't take long. What a drop. Well, that's the Green Bay defense. It's maybe the Ben Johnson to the other guy who looked totally in over his head, Johnny Morton. But I'm just giving you what the numbers are. I don't know what they mean right now.
Sure.
That offense did not play anywhere near what it played like last year, period. And I think most of that's probably Green Bay. They did have 225 yards passing, which is middle of the pack, and only 46 yards rushing, which is second to last. So Green Bay gave you the formula for shutting that down. We'll see what Detroit changes. Surely they're not going to run that same game. 10 catches for the running back for 36 yards is embarrassing.
Yes.
That's horrible. Meanwhile, the Bears had the 6th best overall defense by yards, 3rd best against the pass because J.J. McCarthy couldn't throw the ball for three quarters.
Yeah. But still NFC player of the year.
And actually 24th against the run. So they, like I said, that's the thing to criticize.
Yep.
And my concern there is it's largely the same group of players except for Grady Jarrett and Dio. And you did have TJ Edwards hurt, so maybe he's a big deal there. But
that does matter.
Was the problem last year. They couldn't stop the run last year half the time. We all thought it was because Billings got hurt. And they got to shore that up. They're not good enough elsewhere to win anything if they can't stop the run.
Yeah, I would say having Edwards out affected it, but not making it from a bad run defense to a good run defense.
Yeah, because Sewell played the run well. His problem was we were in coverage, but he actually played the run pretty well. So at the end of this all, I mean, the Lions are favored by 6, which seems high. I still think the Bears are
Buddy Bryant.
So unlikely. So yeah, Buddy Bryant. So unlikely to roll up into a road game and have this stuff all clean. I just think they're going to make too many mistakes again. Lions beat them. But I think it'll be closer than the spread. So I'll say Lions 20, Bears 17, and another nasty, ugly thing.
I think the Bears lose this game, but I think it'll look better because it's the second game for Johnson, and it'll be close. But, yeah, I think Detroit ekes out a 3-4 point win over the Bears. Yeah.
0-2 predictions from us. Yay, 0-2. Here we come, according to our depressed analysis.
But if it looks better, that's good, right? I mean, we want to see progress.
I don't know. I'm tired of moral victories, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. I just I need the QB to hit the deep shots a little better. I need the people
Oh,
that we
sure,
paid on the
sure.
O line to
Yes.
play better.
Yeah.
And those are the two things I would like
I
to
mean,
both see.
well, what I mean is like the
And the run
Bears.
game.
The Bears lost by 3 to the Vikings, but it felt like a lot more than that, because of the
Because they let them off the
fourth
hook. You
swing.
had them
Yeah,
beat.
they let him off the hook. Yes, Sky
Well, they
Point, Denny
did though.
Green.
Like
Yeah,
if you're up 17-6, if you score one more time, it's probably
I
over.
know, I know.
And
Yeah,
that was the score forever.
I
All
just
right.
mean,
The only other two games I think that we should talk about are, well, because the Packers already played. There's only two. Philly at KC,
oh, that's good.
road favorite. KC a home dog. Did
Crazy,
Buddy Bryant everything he'd see today?
Buddy Bryant.
And then Atlanta, Minnesota, Sunday night. I think Philly has Kansas City figured out to some
Yep.
degree. They almost beat them in 2 Super Bowls, and they whooped them in one. Right, the one they lost, they barely lost, and they beat the snot out of them last time they played
Yes,
each
they
other. What
did.
exactly has changed for these two teams?
Um, Not much.
Philly lost a couple edge rushers, but replaced them, right? And
Hmm.
KC got upset that they got beat. Rice is out. I mean, they're at
Yeah,
home.
right. Woo. Mhm.
It's hard to imagine a world where the Chiefs are 0-2 and you get the teams that start 0-2 don't make the playoffs. Other than 9% of the time they make the playoffs. It's like, wow. But it doesn't have anything to do with this matchup. What are they going to do differently to play better than they played last time? I think Philly's still better.
Yep. I
But
think
it
there's.
seems crazy to be predicting the Chiefs to be 0-2.
It
Hey, the Bears
does.
will have good company.
Great. Yeah. There's a plus side. Same record as the Chiefs. I'll take it.
So that would be progress for the Bears, right? We have the same record as the Chiefs. What could be
That's
going
right.
wrong?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd
All
take
right.
that in the offseason.
JJ McCarthy gets another primetime game. And it's Michael Penix versus JJ McCarthy. And our lives are nothing but pain. Because whoever wins, we're going to have to hear about how they're better than Caleb, too.
I know. I guess just got to block that
Minnesota
out.
heads home for that one. You sure do. Penix with 298.
I didn't watch. I didn't
That's
watch
another
that
team
game
that
at
everyone
all.
thought had a chance at being good. That would be 0-2 if they lost.
Hmm. Yeah. The
I'll
early
pick the
weird NFL
upset just
season.
because I think most teams would have finished Minnesota off Monday, and I think it's just as likely that McCarthy looks like he looked in the first 3 quarters than he does the fourth.
True.
And if he's somewhere in between, that may not be enough. So I'll take the road underdog for funsies.
All right. Nice.
With its very wimpy logic.
Yeah, I don't know if I can bet against that Minnesota defense. Yeah. All right.
All right,
Shall I wrap this
go
up and
Bears or something.
yeah, go or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So we'll check in with you after the Bears game Sunday at some point. Maybe not till Monday. We'll see how schedules work out. Find us on the socials at bearly_educated and send us an email, bearlyeducatedpod@gmail.com. We will talk to you in a few days. Bear down.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Now that's a real shame.
Pain, suffering.
I am depressed.
This is the worst.
Love the Bears.